So to begin making our cords, we're going to need a yarn needle, and that's to weave in our ends at the end. I am using a 3.5 millimeter hook. We'll need scissors, and I am using a knitting needle in order to help me work my cords. You can do this without using this, uh, but I like using it. You can also use your yarn needle, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So to begin, and pull through, we're going to just be chaining 3. 1, 2, and 3. All right. So I'm not going to go in the first chain from the hook, but into the second chain from the hook. I'm going to grab my yarn and pull up, and then I'm going to go into the first one we've done, grab my yarn and pull up. I now have 3 loops on my hook. Okay, now in order to make this, what we're doing is having 3 sets of chains moving simultaneously up. So one way to do it is to simply take the 2 hooks, the 2 loops off your hook. Okay, now you want to remember to hold these because you don't want them to come out. Got them. And I just want to take the first one that's on there, and I want to chain 1. Then I'm going to go through the second one right here and chain 1. And then I want to go through the next one and chain 1. And that is our very first row right there. Now I have a problem holding these 2 and making sure I'm holding them and not losing them. So therefore I use a knitting needle. And I take my knitting needle and I'm going to place it right here and grab those 2 loops. The first 2, 1, 2. I'm going to come back around, grab my yarn. I'm going to remove my needle, my hook, I'm sorry. I'm going to remove my hook, grab my yarn, chain 1. I'm going to insert my hook into the next one, and I'm just going to pull it right on off of the needle, and then I'm going to chain 1 on that one. Now I'm going to get my very last one and pull it right off of my needle and chain 1 there. And that's easier for me, so that's why I use this. I wouldn't want to use another hook because another hook is going to have the hook and it's not going to give me a smooth take off. Okay, so again, I'm going to take and place the needle around into 2 hooks, 2 loops. Take that out, chain 1, go back in and get another loop, chain that one, and go back and get the last one, pull it off, and chain 1. And that's it. And we do this as long as we want to. And nothing changes. So we're going to go in, grab 2. I'm going to get my yarn, remove my hook, chain 1, go and get another loop and pull it off, chain 1, and go and get my next one and chain 1. And you see, depending on what kind of yarn you're using, It's quite stretchy. Gonna go back in. Take 2 loops, chain 1, grab my next loop, pull it off, and chain 1, and grab my last loop, and chain 1. And this is how I make my cords. When I first learned how to do this, it was a bit tricky, but it's really quite simple. So even if you grab your loops, if I was working with larger yarn, grabbing my 2 loops might be easier with me, or if I was working with a larger hook, my loops would be larger. It might be easier but for me, but I tend to use a 3.5 when I do this, so it's easier for me to just go in and grab my 2 hooks, 2 loops, remove my hook, grab my yarn, chain 1, grab my next loop, pull that off, and chain 1, and grab my next loop, pull that off, and chain my last one. So all we're doing is chaining, but we're doing one at a time. So it's 3 rows of chains all together, but yet separate. So here we go. Chain 1, grab my next one, chain 1 again, and grab my next one, chain 1. And there you go. That's how I'm going to keep going up and do this whole entire cord, and this will work great for my hoodies and stuff. So I'm going to keep going as long as I need to. I usually don't measure when I'm done, so just go as long as you need to, and I'm gonna keep working this up. So I've just about reached the length that I want. I'm just gonna do it maybe like 2 more times. And now that I've reached the length that I want, I'm just simply going to go through all 3 loops at the same time, and I'm going to cut my yarn, and I'm going to pull this through. Now just go and weave in this in. So I'm going to get my yarn needle, and I'm going to put that in there, pull it out, and I'm just going to go in and out. And I'm going to go one last time. And I'm going to clip this right at the base, and I'll do the same thing to the beginning and as well. And that's it. It's very, very stretchy, and I'm going to use this one to add to one of my hoodies as a string, a drawstring, and absolutely love it. So that's how I make my cords, and that's it. And of course, you can make these as long as you want to or as short as you want to. But that's my cord.